This is going to be take one of trying to go through my Steam wishlist for 2020. If you haven't seen the news video, basically this is an actual a tradition I do for winter and summer with real life friends of comparing our wish lists to see what we like, see what we don't like, share, compare, and all this jazz. It's a sidestep from like a top 10 list or favorites list or hidden gems list. And it is going to be a doozy because currently I have 170 games on my wish list. But the thing is, I don't even want them per se. I'm just in the habit of if I see something that's interesting that my friends may like, I add it to my wish list so that later when I do this type of exchange, I can mention it to them. They say, oh yeah, and then I'll call it off. But circumstances. So anyways, I have all opened up here in Steam. I exported them, randomized them, and so we're just going to be taking it as we go along. So again, I'm not asking for these. I'm not asking for handouts. Do not purchase them for me or whatever, because some of these I don't even want myself. It's just more of like, this is the kind of nerdy, researchy, kind of keeping lists, scheduling, organizing type hobby that I have. Collaborating, collectivizing, data collection. Anyways, let us begin. I know there's no, so sit back, relax. This is gonna be very long. This is like, put this in your background to hear kind of in whatever you're doing, because this is gonna be, like I said, if it's 1 minute per game and it's 170, that's hour and a half. I am bad at doing arithmetic. 1.5 hours is 180 minutes. Anyways, let us begin. 2 minutes in. All right. And I don't even know how to think. So, all right. First one is Primal Light. Okay, so I don't recognize this. Seems to be okay. Just looking at the screens, it's just basically a good-looking 2D brawler action game. I would need to play test and review this more. This does not jump out at me. I probably just got it as a recommended list and whatnot. So yeah, I think this is more of like a top 10 list of newish games. Let's see, next one, Super Hydora. Doesn't jump out at me. Looks like a variation of Gradius or a modern take upon it. Probably from a wish list recommendation type of deal. Okay. Hexan. This I know. This is a classic first-person shooter. As you can see, 1995. I believe I just have this on as me trying to learn what the first-person shooter genre is. So Doom is the classic that started it. Hexan is a Doom clone at the time, but it's kind of distinct and different from things. So I am going to remove this because I don't think I'm going to jump into first-person shooters, at least not until I actually do play Doom itself or GoldenEye and whatnot. And if I like it, I'll continue here. See what I mean about like Priest Simulator. Okay. I believe sometime during the summer sale, this company, Asmodev, or is it? Yeah, Asmodev, was streaming a game that they just released, which will come up. And so basically, I looked at them. I looked at the stream. I found it interesting. This is actually very close to what they were streaming. Is like almost very close to what I was doing with Project Pius or Pius, of like, can I do a video game with a Christian theme? So I actually want to do like a post-mortem of that playlist series because I've seen lots of games that have kind of incorporated my ideas, which is it was just brainstorming and just whatever. I'm not an indie dev or anything, and I don't have the capabilities. I'm too lazy now. But anyway, so this is pre-simulator. So basically, it's one company. The first game was being released, and they're doing 5 games It's a Polish company. They all seem to be doing Catholic themes and kind of Catholic themed horror games, doing different things. So basically I looked at it, add them all to my list. And so this is a priest simulator. So it's yeah, I have no idea. I've yet to playtest. It's not even out released. They're just in developing. It seems like what I liked about this studio when I looked at the games, like each game was different. It was like an action game, first person shooter game, mystery game, whatever. So it seemed like it's a studio of like maybe 5, 10-ish people. They've kind of got their programmers, their artists and whatever, and they made this engine, this game engine to do stuff. And then what they're doing is they're making like 5 different games set in this type of world theme, doing different ideas. So that's what I liked. I liked the fact that they were being very creative in their endeavors as a new studio and trying different ideas. So yeah, this is Asmodev Priest Simulator. This is not the one they were streaming. All right, next, Cultist Simulator. I know this. This is a deck building game, so this is more of a board game. It's the Lovecraft Cthulhu mythos. And basically you play the game and you're a cultist. You're basically playing cards, trying to get achievements and such, whatnot. But you need to play it several times, kind of like a roguelike, in order to put together the story, in order to actually kind of figure out what's actually going on in the game, in the card game, the story, or at least the mechanics of the card game, to actually win. People complain that this another name for this game is Spinning Plates, the simulator. So basically um, entertainment the entertainment show of a guy, you have little poles and he puts plates and balancing on them and just spinning them. So just doing that repeatedly. That's what this game is. And some people like it, some people don't, and they like or dislike the fact that it's very random on whether you can actually beat it because you're spinning plates and on top of having to figure it out. So this is kind of on my to get list. I wish I could be the type of person to play this a lot and enjoy it. Like I have, not Rogue Legacy, Slay the Spire. I haven't touched it, but I know it's like so great and so deep, and I would get hooked on it. But I haven't touched it yet because I'm a procrastinator. So I highly recommend it. Next, Panzer Paladin. This I know. This is a retro late 80s, early 90s, Nintendo style 2D shooter platformer type game where you're a guy in a mech suit and you have a sword, so it's very tight controls of a 90s game. They say Metroidvania, I don't think so, but it just, very good. I would like to play this. I doubt I'm going to, even if I were to get it, because I have a huge backlog in library, but yes, this I recognize, or at least this was, I believe, first on a recommendation, like down here, like similar games, and then I've seen it repeated on various like top 10 lists. Break the Game. This, I believe, is a meta game? I don't know. It's basically, it seems to be kind of a discovery game. It seems to be Zalgo breaking the. It's a breaks the fourth wall type of game, like not Portal, the Stanley Parable. Like it just addresses the audience and does that. So I believe it doesn't really jump out of me. I think I might have gotten it from a recommendation of adventure game that's kind of short and sweet. This is like 3 hours to beat. I'll enjoy it and that's it. But this is not coming out at me. And oh, this brings up another kind of habit that I have, or kind of hobby culture. When I want to purchase something out of luxury, such as a video game or a board game or an extra pair of shoes or a nice jacket or whatever, I put it on a wish list and then I wait 6 months. If I still want it after 6 months, then I purchase it. So that's kind of what I'm doing here. Pardon. So this is kind of a, maybe I would take it off. It's also, like I said, it goes to seem to be inexpensive, $4 or whatnot. Maybe you can get it cheaper on a sale, but we'll see. Fantasy Eden. My goodness, this has been on my wish list for a very long time. I think I brought this on from an extra credits episode of games you may have not tried, and this is basically, they say like this is just direct homage to Final Fantasy 1. And it just kind of has, I believe, a system where like you can set your random encounters how you want manually, so you can go out on the map and explore, do that. It doesn't jump out at me because basically it's just, you know, it's Final Fantasy Classic. I've already played that. If I want that, I'll scratch the edge. It's never on sale, but it's just like super cheap. It's like $3. So yeah. Alright, Tembo, the Badass Elephant. This I would like. It's by Game Freak, I know, and by Sega. I know that this is going to be a short, sweet, fun platformer where you're just an elephant who happens to be a Contra, and he's just going to be running and stomping over things. I should get it. I ought to enjoy it. I just haven't. It's just more like, and it's always super cheap as well, and too, like very frequently. So it's just more like once I kind of gone through all the junk that I have, then I'll go with this. All right. Neon Abyss. This is a recent add-on. This is basically a, this was on a, I believe it's another top 10 list, not Metroidvania, but kind of a 2D shooter game. So this is like Contra, like Metal Slug. It's roguelike, so, you know, random guns, random enemies. I don't know if I should get roguelite stuff because I don't know if I enjoy the randomness of roguelikes, but I admit that I don't think I have the mental brain capacity to learn all the different mechanics and type of guns and figure out a meta of this is how, like, I cannot distinguish this is what's going to help me keep alive from this is actually going to help me beat the game. Unless I am super enthusiastic with the game, which usually more than not I am not. I don't know. But basically I have this on. I should be trying out the demo. Do I have this? Yeah, let's just set this up. Okay, you do that. Wow, my thing. Avistia Chronicles. This is on my wish list because I believe this is just a recommendation of if you like a Super Nintendo RPG, a classic Super Nintendo RPG, this is it. It's advertising 100 companions, so it should be like Suidoken, I believe. So yeah, just like classic homage to classic RPGs. Great stuff, you know. By Chemco. Oh, I think I got this via a recommendation via a good mobile or phone games, because I know a lot of Chemco, or at least Chemco, the company, does a lot of mobile games. So this was like, here's an actual good mobile game. It's an RPG, and they ported it over. I don't know if this is originally mobile, but yeah. Okay, Alchemy Garden. 3D alchemy crafting simulator type game. It's been in early access for a very long time. I want to say three? No, only 1 year? No, it wasn't released last year. I remember this for like 3 years or whatnot. I have this on my wish list, and I kind of hate the fact that I like it because when I have played Oblivion, Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion, I've only played it like twice. I both make magical characters, do the intro to the Mages Guild, and I just love the kind of alchemy system in that game, even though it's very simple. I like the fact that, you know, you go in the alchemy garden of the Mages Guild, you just gather all the herbs. I love the little clicking. I love the sound effect of actually picking up the items, so they'll like, you know, and then I go to the, and then in the menu and I do all the combo systems. So this is an early access. It's been very cheap. It's been $2 for very frequently. I have not purchased it because I'm trying to stick by the whole vote with your wallet. Do not purchase early access. Do not pre-order. Make sure they give what they want and communicate. So there has been updates by this, but you know, like this is like super casual kind of time sink waster solitaire. But I like this. I unfortunately I like kind of grindy games. Like I don't like forceful grind, but I do like stuff that tends to be more grinding. Okay, Monster Crown. This seems to be from a top 10 list, early hour recommendation via the bottom, so this seems to be just classic RPG recommendation for either classic Super Nintendo, Nintendo RPG, or maybe a good pixel art game, because I also do those type of lists. Yeah, but this does not jump onto me, but maybe later. Android Hunter A. Okay, I know this. This basically is Mega Man X. That's it. So it's been released as Mega Man X. It's just done in a kind of the modern 2D, 3D style. So even there's like the motorcycle sections where you're going forward to the screen and have to dodge just like in X. But yeah, Mega Man X just in the proper 2.5D style, like in New Super Mario Brothers and kind of modern Kirby games. So yeah. Has it been released? It's not been released. But yeah. Okay. Nova Drift. Okay. Nothing speaks out to me. This is just, I believe it's just a I think this one is, yeah, through recommendations down here, just exploring that of Steam curation. Oh, there's the thing about like, there's the list of like, here we go. I believe it's like going through this, like more like this, and it just goes through like 20 games. And I believe I added it on this. So this seems to be a top-down shooter, not necessarily twin stick, roguelike action. So it's spaceships getting little things. Maybe I believe this was recommended about the fact that you have a lot of type of guns and you can combine them and kind of create crazy weapon configurations. Okay, Outward. This I got from, I believe I was watching Upper Echelon Games, which you may or may not like, but basically I was watching a game news thing, and this was the background material, and this really grabbed me about how it's a, it looked interesting. It looked like a action RPG, 3D, not like, and the third person camera model. I think that's what gets is like, oh, this kind of looks interesting. Might be an action game, might be an RPG game. Might be Souls-like, even though I don't like the term Souls-like, but you know, RPG where it's action combat and the combat is good. Like the combat looks really good in this game. So I looked upon it and found out, oh, it's survival and has survival things, so crafting, which I kind of like, because I love how to survive. Haven't played Minecraft, kind of like Terraria, the building stuff, and it's cooperative. Love co-op games. So sad I don't have real life friends anymore. And I don't really have an online community. That's neither here nor there. That's not seeking sympathy, but you know, it looks like a Monster Hunter type of game. Maybe not as difficult as Monster Hunter, but getting together, doing things, very, very nice. The only bad thing is I'm not even. This seems to be a modern game, and my computer is old. Its parts are 10 years old at least, and I got last year parts, so it's about 15 years old. Okay, Bushidin. This seems to be a Strider Metroidvania type game, so if you like The Messenger, or maybe the modern Strider, like the 2019-2018, this you would love. Or what's the other one? It's on the tip of my tongue. It's an extremely rare Super Nintendo game, and you're a cyborg. It's extremely rare. It's on thingy. There's a cyborg. You play. There's the blue one, there's the pink one, and then there's the gray one that has a very big scythe reaper thing. It's on the tip of my tongue, but anyways. I believe it's by Natsume. So yeah, classic ninja action game, not released. Great. Bushiden. Dark Light. Okay, I believe this is on a Metroidvania, upcoming top 10 Metroidvania game. I think King F or Fring King. I'm subscribed to some YouTubers that are basically, they do top 10 lists. And the reason I'm subscribed to them is they do top 10 lists for the Switch. I do not have a Switch. I do not intend to purchase a Nintendo Switch, but I noticed kind of within the first 2 years of the Switch that anything that goes on the Switch is also on Steam. And Steam, for the past couple of years, is notorious for having a lot of shovelware games. Nothing in the store is curated. You pay $200, your game is on Steam. Not so for Switch. You need to apply for Nintendo, and Nintendo needs to approve. So I've been using the Switch eShop as the old Steam shop, because the games on the Switch have to be good and work, as opposed to Steam where it could just be garbage. So here we have Dark Light. I believe it's a Metroidvania top 10 list for whatever year. Sci-fi, cyberpunk, post-apocalypse, Souls-like. So I don't believe it does not have a demo, or it's an early access. So yeah, Dark Light, something to check out. Bonds of the Sky, okay, classic homage to Super Nintendo RPG. Yeah, Super Nintendo. I believe this is through a recommendations on the bottom here, because the sprites are definitely Trials of Mana style, you know, a very Secret of Mana style. Just kind of on my to-do list, maybe, or whatnot. Looks like it's from RPG Maker, but this was through a recommendation of like, okay, this is a good RPG Maker game, which I never got into that community. I acknowledge it exists, but it's more of a, I think I even said this with Project Pius, it's like, it's just so big. 9 Parchments, I know this is by Frozen Byte. Frozen Byte, I believe, did Bastion. I didn't care for Control because it's very tactical based or whatnot. Although I think I may like it because the tactic is more like computer programming. And so this seems to be more like, it reminds me of Magica in that it's like top-down, twin stick, but instead of guns, you're shooting stuff, pew pew pew. I still need to play Magica 2, which is why I haven't purchased this, and I've yet to play Magica 1 redo. I still yet to beat the final DLC with Magica, but it keeps crashing as soon as we beat the people that are the Diablo characters. Anyways. Okay, Kingdom of Counting. This I got from way back, extra credits, games you have not tried. This is tower defense, except it's arithmetic. It's an actual legit edutainment game. I've had this on waiting since 2014. In the 6 years it is up, it has never been on sale, ever. This historical low is once, in 2015. $7. Tower defense, learn arithmetic, so if you like number bunchers or you want to practice mental math, this is great. I think I got it in hopes of playing my nieces and nephews, but family is complicated. So anyways. So yeah, it's like, you know, it's Plants vs. Zombies. It's tower defense and the potions are, you can manipulate things, so yeah, it'll be super great. Anyways. And I know it'd be short and sweet because it's for kids. You can't go wrong with sometimes you just have to have potato chips. Okay, Songbringer. Doesn't ring a bell. I believe this is recommended Metroidvania, recommended pixel art, or action RPG. Extremely positive. Yeah, I think it is pixel art, action RPG kind of recommendations list. Songbringer. Or through curation. Oh, and the fact that it has music. If you do pixel art, you usually have great music. Darkwood. Okay, this is the top-down survival horror. I have it on my wish list because the actual developers came out when they published it and said, at the time in 2017, if you can't get this game or you literally don't have money, pirate it. Go ahead, download and torrent it. They released a torrent for this game. That's how and because basically they were saying like, we acknowledge that copyright law stinks, but they also acknowledge that a certain website, I forget which one, there's 2 of them, and that are the key resellers, and basically saying like, pirating the video game actually costs us less money than these sites that do credit card fraud and generate keys and make money off of that. So like, go ahead and pirate it. So yeah, I have it. I have the torrent of it, the download of it. I haven't played it yet, but when I do, I will enjoy it. Um, Darkwood. Okay, Streets of Rogue. I had this when it was in alpha. I still have the alpha of this. I played it. It hasn't gripped me, but basically they describe it as Deus Ex but top-down and sprite-based. So there's lots of classes. You need to figure out what to do on the floor and kind of go down these floors of this crazy shooter game. So you may need to get a key to go to the next floor. You may need to rob a bank so you can blow stuff up. You can talk to people. You can bribe them. All these kind of various mechanical things. This is probably closer to the original Rogue than current roguelikes, in that the original Rogue, when you have those classes, you have those very specific actions to do to things, such as closing the door, putting the little pylons in the door so that the monsters can't open them. The fact that you can like throw weapons. So if you want something closer to Rogue, Streets of Rogue, the actual Rogue games, like the Mystery Dungeon game. So Pokemon Mystery Dungeon, Chocobo Mystery Dungeon, these type of, it's closer to these than what most people think, I guess, now with Rogue Light, as opposed to Rogue like. And the alpha is probably floating around still, available for the public. Flynn, Son of Crimson. Okay, this is weird. Oh, okay, so I know this guy. I know this only via Twitter, and it's very odd in that I forget who are the people, but I'm somehow connected to this community of pixel artists on Twitter, even though I'm not following them. And this is one of the people. The other guy. So this is Flynn, Son of Crimson. Gorgeous pixel art, kind of 2D action game, Super Nintendo style. Very, very smooth animation, just lovely. I'm gonna have to play them. You know, just with the sword swing and everything. So the animation is great. If they can put the sound effects and the actual mechanics behind it to make it feel good and punchy, here we go. You know, just all the love and tenderness and care of it. So like I said, I only know this through like this weird pixel art kind of group that that I've taught Twitter to me. So this is his game, is yet to be released. He was very happy recently that he got like two or three more world backgrounds. So like there's a Crystal Caves was recent. I know this through another guy who is called Berserk Boy. He's doing the video game Berserk Boy, which is very similar to this. I'm not sure it has a Steam page, but yeah. Super Flynn, Son of Crimson, super silky smooth animation and hopefully gameplay to go with it. Okay, the console. I have this because my friend, online friend Rudix, or online associate, played it. So this is kind of a modern point-and-click adventure game. I want to say, what's the one everybody likes that I hate or don't like because of the premise? The one where you have time travel and you're a high schooler and you just abuse it for like drama. You know the one I'm talking about. So basically, it's an adventure game. You go and talk to people and you find ideas. You get lots of clues. And basically, it's set in the late 1600s. So the United States has been a country for about 10-ish years, officially Declaration of Independence. So all these famous people of the time of colonial United States are gathering, and you're part of the council. You're in this cabal of people planning to do something. So if you like National Treasure, Indiana Jones, Illuminati type of stuff, or that type of early modern setting, and rich story, and also detective work, because there's lots of you can talk to people, and there are skill checks of the character, like You are arrogant, you're humble, you're persuasive, you're antagonistic, you're charismatic, and depending on the people you have and the skill checks you have, that's how you can get various dialogue branching trees. Branching trees. If you're, scientific stuff, if you're a historian, if you know occultism, if you know that type of stuff. So yeah, very great. Also, what is recommended or a nice thing is that you can't lose the game, but the game respects the actions and outcomes. So this is similar to Undertale. If you make the bad decision, you continue with the story still continues with the bad decision. So there's not necessarily there is a golden ending, but there's several other endings depending upon how far you got. So it's not like you play and it's game over. This is very much like a choose your own adventure book where you just read it over and over and just see how it plays out. I want to say this is almost like the original Laura Bow games, where basically it's the original Laura Bow, where it's like it's a murder mystery. You can solve the murders or you don't, but in any case, once like 2 hours is up, it's done. Almost, you might say it's almost like the original Dead Rising, that you have that 2 hour window to figure out. Not that you're on a time limit, but it's more of like you're gonna go through these scenarios, hit or miss. Okay, so I am now currently at the 30-minute mark, and so I'm going to kind of pause the stream and see if I can tweak this out a little bit more of this wish list, because we have a lot to go, and I know I didn't go through 30 games at 1 a minute. So until next time, I'm Tiro, and have fun gaming. See ya.